Good morning. The October 17th, 2018 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. In the interest of promoting the order and efficiency of these hearings, persons who are disruptive to the hearing will be asked to leave the hearing room. Meetings of the Board of Estimates are open to the public. For the duration of the meeting, the hearing room must be vacated at the conclusion of the meeting. Failure to comply may result in a charge of trespassing. Madam Deputy Comptroller, are there any corrections, additions, or deferrals on the agenda?
Yes, good morning. First, I'd like to announce acting on behalf of the Honorable President Bernard Jack Young is the Honorable Vice President Sharon Middleton. I have the following announcements also to make. For pages 68 to 70, item numbers 3 and 4, a response to Anchor Construction Corporation's request for reconsideration was received from Robert Fulton DeShield, representing Highlander Construction Company. That item is on the non-routine agenda. For pages 73 to 74, item numbers 11 and 12, a supplemental protest was received from W.M. Schlosser. That item, page 73 to 74, items 11 and 12 are on the non-routine agenda. I have the following abstentions to note. For the Honorable Mayor Pugh, there are no abstentions. Acting on behalf of the Honorable President Young, the Honorable Vice President Middleton will abstain on pages 7 to 8, item numbers 5 and 6, and pages 117 to 127. The Honorable Comptroller Pratt will abstain on page 5, item 1, and pages 73 to 74, item numbers 11 and 12. The items that remain on the non-routine agenda are pages 68 to 69, items 3 and 4, 69 to 70, items 3 and 4, and pages 73 to 74, items 11 and 12. Madam Vice President and members of the board, those are the protests as well as responses that have been received, in addition to the abstentions that have been noted thus far. Thank you.
I would direct the board members' attention to the memorandum of the Council President's Office dated October 15th, 2018, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items together with any corrections and additions that have been noted by the Deputy Comptroller. I will enter a motion to approve all the items contained on the routine agenda.
Madam President, I move approval of the items on the routine agenda.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. The motion carries. The routine agenda items
Has been adopted.
have been adopted. The first item on the non-routine agenda can be found on pages 68 to 70, items 3 and 4, Department of Transportation. Recommendations for contract awards rejection, TR 18014, conduit system reconstruction at various locations citywide. Will the parties please come forward?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tavon Braxton. I'm the Conduit Division Chief.
You move approval
Oh.
of the contract.
I move approval of the
Well,
contract.
You're recommending approval of the contract to the board.
Recommend.
I'm recommending approval of the contract to the board.
Madam Vice President, Madam Mayor, Madam Comptroller, honorable members of the board, Mike Mullen from the Law Department here. Do you want to hear our position first or the protest first?
Yeah, we had the
The
protest first.
protest.
The protest first.
There's no one here?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on. Okay. Thank you. Protesters are present.
I would move that the protest be denied as non-prosecutable and not well taken.
Second.
Aye.
See you tomorrow.
The second item on the non-routine agenda can be found on pages 73 to 74, items 11 to 12, Department of Public Works, Office of Engineering and Construction. Recommendations for contract awards rejection. SC 927, electrical distribution system reliability improvements at Back River Water Treatment Plant. Will the parties please come forward?
Madam Comptroller, seconded.
I guess you explain the
Yes,
contract and then.
No, when they didn't, excuse me, Mr. Sinister said, they have no posture, not presentable because they, you know. Okay. You did a second, and I thought I heard that. After that, we'll call back, I'll actually call back, okay? I'll do it afterwards. Okay, thanks.
Present the contract.
Good morning, Your Honorable Board. My name is Tenora Burgee, and I represent DPW Contract Administration Division. I'm representing the agency. We recommend the lowest bidder, Slosher, to be recommended for your award.
Whiting Turner.
I'm sorry, Whiting Turner, I'm sorry. Whiting Turner for the award, I'm sorry.
The parties that are protesting, recognize yourself?
Yes, good morning. My name's Michael Cohen. I represent W.M. Schlosser Company, and Schlosser is protesting the award to Whiting Turner.
Good morning. My name is Howard Stevens. I'm representing the Whiting Turner Contracting Company. And we obviously oppose the protest.
State your case.
State your case.
State your Wanna case. talk more
Oh,
about your
sure,
case?
I'd be glad to. Before I start, well, it's an honor to be here to address everyone today. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I apologize, I have a cold, so I am not in very good voice, but I'll do my best. Before I start, just to make it a little bit easier here, I have a handout that I'd like to refer to, and this is for the convenience of the board. So,
You have 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. Schlosser submitted the low bid on this project, which it wrote on its bid form in 3 different places. If you look at the last page of what I handed out, you will see the affidavit of the MBE participation of Schlosser in the project, which says that Schlosser's intended bid price on the project is $68,388,000. If you look at page 4 of the handout, this is the bid form. It has 2 columns on the right under unit price and amounts. And across from the total bid amount, it says Schlosser's total bid is $68,388,000. It says it in 2 different places. So Schlosser's intended bid amount is stated in 3 different places in its documents. The basis for the award here is that the award will be made to the low responsible bidder whose bid conforms to the solicitation in all material respects. Schlosser's bid conformed to the solicitation in all material respects. Now, material is a key word here because material defects can cause a bid to be non-responsive, whereas immaterial defects are not considered non-responsive. In a pricing case where the bidder's intended price is clear, any deviations are deemed non-material and also minor informalities that can be waived by the board. There were basically 2 minor deviations in this case. First, the form did not spell out the bid price in written words, and there was a small discrepancy in the unit price and amount for item 802 in the form that I gave you. In an MSBCA case of Century Construction, it involved almost identical discrepancies. The bidder failed to state its bid price in words, and there was a discrepancy in the line item. The Board of Contract Appeals found that this was not a valid rejection for award, even though there was a separate, the omission of words was not a valid basis for rejection of the award, even though there was a separate error in the line item. And that's because the bidder's intended price could be determined from the face of the bid. Now, if you go to the bid form again, and you go to page 3, you can see the error. That's in line item 802. On the unit price column, Schlosser wrote in $43,778,034. In the amount column, Schlosser wrote in mistakenly $43,788,034. Now, the $43,778,000 number is the correct number on the unit price. Now, how do we know this? Because it's consistent with Schlosser's total bid, which was written in 3 different places on the contract documents. Obviously, what happened here is that the person who carried the bid on for Schlosser wrote 43,788,034 in the amount column in the bid form when it meant to write 43,778,304. So this is one displaced digit out of 60 unit price items on this contract. So it's a minor clerical error of the type that is often corrected in government procurements. In fact, the COMAR, which doesn't apply here, but which is reflective of prevailing law, says this kind of error must be corrected. That's because Schlosser's intended bid price is absolutely clear. We could see that there was one displaced numeral. The intended bid price is actually written right next to it on the same line, and that price is consistent with Schlosser's total bid price in 3 separate places. So the test here is Schlosser's bid price clear? And I think any fair reading says it is. And I would submit that DPW knows what Schlosser's intended bid price, and well-intentioned though they are, they applied a hyper-technical interpretation of the specification to reject Schlosser's bid. Now, this is the kind of hyper-technical interpretation that this board is free to correct. And in correcting that hyper-technical deviation, it saves the city $552,000 by making the award to Schlosser. And Schlosser complied with the solicitation by submitting a responsible bid that complied with the solicitation in all material respects. Now, I know this board has a lot of leeway to reject and accept bids, but the Green Book, which applies here, says that the bid will be made to the low responsible bidder who complies with the solicitation in all material respects. This is a promise to the contracting community that if you do these things, you will get the award. So if the award is made to Schlosser in this case, it will save the city $552,000, and it will evince prevailing principles of government contract law that apply to this board, that are adopted by the MSBCA, by the federal courts, and by the boards of contract appeals. I submit again, Schlosser's intended bid price, but for one inverted digit, is absolutely clear, and Schlosser should be made the award. Thank you.
I'd like to ask the law department to speak.
Mr. Mullen, good morning.
Mr. Mullin?
Michael Mullen on behalf of the Law Department. It's not a hyper-technical application of our rules. This board made specific bidding rules. They're set out in the Green Book. They require that the bidder enter all of their prices in words and in numerals. In this case, Schlosser did not enter any of its prices in words. It used numerals only. Then on line 802, which my learned opponent has shared with you, there are 2 different numbers. This is not a unit price, it's a lump sum price, and there are 2 different figures there for this lump sum. Now, normally if there were words written out, then DPW and the board would be able to look at the words because words control. Because Schlosser did not use words and put in 2 different numbers, we don't know which number to use. The Green Book doesn't sanction our going through and doing all the math and trying to figure out which number Schlosser intended to be added up in its total bid, nor has this board ever imposed that kind of a rule on the agencies in any of the applications of the bidding rules in the Green Book. The city rules are clear, they're repeated. In fact, if you looked at the document that was given to you at the very top in the center column, it says you have to write the amount in words and in numbers, And Schlosser's not a new bidder to the city. They know this. It's set out in the Green Book in painstaking detail. It's in the bid documents, and it's been our procedure for many, many years. Now, the state, Comar, and Board of Contract Appeals opinion that was just mentioned, they are not binding on this board. We have our own rules. These rules are different. In some respects, they're more strict, but if the rules had been followed here by Schlosser, we wouldn't have a problem. DPW would have been able to do what it would do normally, and the words would control. We would know exactly what bid was intended. Now, if we're not going to follow the rules, I suggest that that would potentially open up Pandora's box for the board having to look at each individual bid. Bidders could be very sloppy. We'd have to figure out what they intended. The rules were put together by the board for a reason. They are strict, there's no question about it, but they're plain, they're easy to follow, and we rarely have a problem with this. So in this case, we have two serious errors that violate our rules, and I suggest to the board, with respect, that we should apply the rules as we have in the past, be consistent, and reject Schlosser's bid.
Mr. Solicitor, would you like to make a motion?
Unless there are any questions for Mr. Mullen?
No, no question.
No question.
I move for the reasons advanced by the Law Department that the protest be denied.
Second?
All
I call for a vote on that motion, Madam President.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Madam President, if I may, just for clarity, with regard to the two items on the non-routine agenda, I move that the protests in each instance be denied and that the contracts be awarded as recommended by the agency.
Second?
Ask for a vote on that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam President.
There are no, as there is no more business before the board, we will recess until bid opening at 12 noon. Thank you.
Sorry. Good afternoon. The Board of Ethics is now in session for the receiving and opening of bids. I have one addendum for today, and that is for I have a different number in front of me. You have two addendums? What's that? It says on P, this one says. But it says, that's what I was trying to figure out, yeah, okay. Okay, it's for this. Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you. All right.
So no addenda?
Yeah, there's one I'm corrected, I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's, TR
Okay.
0309. Okay. Okay. I don't have that sheet, so you can share that. I wrote it down.
Okay.
Sorry. It's TR 10309R, Harbor Water Taxi Terminal. Please change the bid due date from October the 10th to October 17th, 2018.
Okay, so the water taxi addendum is noted for the record.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Excuse me.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
We didn't meet last week.
I'm good. I'm good. That's right. Okay. Never mind.
Okay, thank you. TR 10309R, Inner Harbor Taxi, Water Taxi Terminal. That was the item that was extended from last Wednesday to today, October 17th, which is the addendum we just read. A bid guarantee is required if the amount is over $100,000. Mid-Atlantic General Contractors, Inc., with a bid bond. $3,805,150.
Okay, this will be referred to the Department of Transportation for review. Okay, thank you.
RP 17808R, Lakeland Recreation Center window replacements. A bid guarantee is required if the amount is over $100,000. C&N Associates LLC, $373,270. Bob Andrews Construction, Inc., with a bid bond. $397,800. Brogdon Construction Company, LLC, with a bid bond. $298,723.60. M&A Infrastructure Solutions, LLC, with a bid bond, $490,000.
These will be referred to the Department of Recreation and Parks for review.
B50005481. Aftermarket for heavy trucks, aftermarket parts for heavy trucks and equipment. A bid guarantee is not required. Maryland Industrial Trucks, $216,417.91. Certificates. For this company here. Fleet Pride, Inc., $67,900. Somehow keep this with their thing. That has their flash on it.
Excuse me.
And I'm not doing it. Thank you. No, no. All right. Beltway International LLC. We are unable to determine their price. They have a diskette with their price list.
How do I record that? Just question mark? Okay. Okay. Okay.
The Baltimore Auto Supply Company. We do not have the price, but it is on their diskette, it appears, the price list with the discount pricing. So most of them are doing that. Waste equipment sales and service, the price is on their flash drive.
Excuse me, these will be referred to the Bureau of Procurement for review.
It's gonna be the same thing. Thank you. We have the same thing with this one, lots of flash drives. I'm looking to see, I'm just putting their name here because it's not in the English thing. News belongs to. B50005525, aftermarket parts and supplies for cars and light trucks. A bid guarantee is not required. Okay, yeah, 'cause it's no price, okay. This is an item bid, prices will not be read. The first bid is from Parts Authority Southern LLC. Baltimore Auto Supply Company. Fleet Pride, Inc. Rock, R-O-K Brothers, Inc. Cummins Radiator.
These will be referred to the Bureau of Procurement for review.
There being no further business, we are adjourned.